Welcome, everybody. We are here to recap Facebook graded Star Wars CCG group and all things with graded Star Wars CCG cards. I'm here with JP and Luke, which is fantastic. So welcome, both of you. I'm looking forward to their discussion. Today, we're going to cover the overall health of the group, the contest winners from previous month, and the upcoming contest topics. We will discuss as well as some other highlights with the sales on the group itself, and encourage to do that, as well as any quick data points that we want to highlight, as well as some fun numbers from Luke for whatever he'd like to provide afterwards. So let's kick it off with JP. So the overall group, it's been growing. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen trending from the group.
Yeah, I just lost a little connection, but no problem. I'm back in. Yeah, so we've still having our steady growth, which is fantastic. We're up around 680. We've grown just in the past month. I think about 70 members have joined. It's really, kind of growing a little quicker and quicker, which is good. This is the first month I haven't had anybody reach out to contact me with any interesting questions about how to get started and, what kind of resources to start looking at. So I think everybody's starting to get super comfortable, becoming really good inspectors, and I can see the population reports getting pretty good at hanging in there for grading. So as far as the health of the group, it's still organic. I'm barely going into other groups. I did see something interesting. There was somebody that was selling a C-3PO. I think it was a Japanese.
Yeah, Will
was doing it. Well, he went over to like the Dead Games because he was just posting it everywhere. And they're like, what are you bringing that in here for? You should go over to the Star Wars CCG group and a graded group. And I'm like, wow, I don't even have to post stuff anymore.
They just know it's there.
Yeah. So even people that aren't even in the group or other groups, just like saying, hey, you could probably go over to CCG graded and deal over there.
That's great. Yeah, that's great from an awareness standpoint. And yeah, I was telling Will, because obviously being in Japan, he has more access to Japanese cards. I was like, you should probably grade some of these. He's like, okay. And like, grade them. Like, you got a great return. I'm like, I would be thrilled if I got this. I don't even have a C-3PO, which is super annoying. Because I'm like, oh God, these get more and more unattainable every 10 that comes out. No, that's fantastic for him. And either somebody picks those up or I'll be forced to.
Yeah, me too.
Luke, did you have any quick thoughts on the group engagement or involvement over the last month or so?
No, I would say, like JP, I've seen like a lot of interesting posts and posters. I think it is pretty organic at this point of people like just like joining and having stuff that's interesting to either sell or questions about that seem legit. And less, although I did see, I think today, somebody be like, well, how does this make sense? I want to grade all of these. Like, how did you do it in bulk? Like, and I thought pretty much right away, there's a bunch of people that had good answers on that. I think, as I said before in some of our chats, Kyle, I think it's a pretty welcoming and inclusive community. And that is great. I didn't know that it was growing by like 70 a month. That's amazing. That's really a powerful data point.
Yeah, it's all boding very good things. So in terms of the group itself, so we have this ongoing contest, right? For those who don't know, it's all about different themes and posting 2 different slabs, right? Most people have been following this. Love more participation from it, though. Don't be shy. October was Imperial Spaceship. So this was probably one of the easier categories for anybody because most people have some Imperial Spaceship, Star Destroyer, Bounty Hunter, whatever, some good stuff in there. So this was a good theme. November is Cloud City themed, and December is Hoth themed. For January, we'll probably do a group-wide vote on what category we should do for January. Since I kind of just invented those categories out of the blue and JP agreed to it, I'd love to get input from the group so it's not a one-man show in terms of what we want to see in these contests moving forward, or do we want to evolve the contest? So if you have thoughts or feedback on that, we are all ears for that. This is not set in stone by any stretch of the imagination. So looking forward to next month. But for the past month, we are going to discuss the winners of our categories. We had no low balls. Sad face. I know. Somebody has a low ball. They just didn't submit, and they could have won, which is really tragic, ultimately. I know you guys got some PSA 5s and 6s in there. Don't be shy. Bring them out. But unique pair. Let's start with unique pair. As our runner-up, I gave it to JP, which is a New Hope Japanese Victory Class Star Destroyer and Conquest Star Destroyer, which is unique because not many people have graded a New Hope Japanese cards. So that is unique. As a first place for unique, we have Brian Emery with Chimera 8 and a PSA 8 and PSA 9, a foil and non-foil. So there's not many Death Star 2 graded cards in general, and I know we've discussed this in other conversations, so that was kind of cool. So congratulations to JP for runner-up and Brian for running first place in the unique category. For top, JP, do you want to announce the winners and runner-ups for that?
Right. So the runner-up, tough one. There were like 4 people that were truly in the running, and we haven't had that many that were that close with so much good stuff. And it's so hard to grade them or judge them because they're awesome in their own ways. But, it comes down to like rarity and population. So runner-up is Michael Lockwood. His pair was super amazing. It claps. And the winner for this month is Simpson. He had an incredible showcase, and it's amazing just looking at everybody's collection of what they've got. It's fantastic. It's what this whole competition is all about. So congratulations, Brad.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, Michael Lockwood had a BGS 9.5 Japanese Tyrant and Devastator. Somewhat tricky cards to come across in general, much less in that high of a grade. And then with a Devastator PSA 10 black border and a Devastator Japanese, both PSA 10s for Brad. The Devastator obviously being one of those like ultimate, that's like a top 3-4 card like in Premier Japanese. So to get that in top grade is phenomenal. Given my luck with grading Japanese cards, that's extra impressive because I don't even own a Devastator, which is extra annoying. So congratulations to Brad and Michael Lockwood on that. So I think a great contest with that. I hope to see more people participate in these. We might have to circle back to some of these categories or allow people to show them off when they get even better stuff. Okay, so transitioning over to sales, JP and I were discussing that the Facebook group has done well with allowing people to post graded slabs for sale, whether these are duplicates or need to downsize or whatever. That is a great alternative option. We've seen good response from that. People are interested in that. And frankly, most of the people looking on eBay are already part of the group. So save yourself the 15%, overhead cut off the top from eBay and taxes and shipping, right? Like all this combined nonsense they add in there. Let's make trades and deals and sales on the group where possible, or at least start there. That's been successful. Any thoughts on that, Luke, JP?
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, you had a flash sale that you put up on the group, and we chatted about that in terms of your results. And I think you were saying you need to raise some quick funds for another collectible, and it was pretty cool to see how quickly people jumped at that.
I agree. I was shocked. I actually only expected to get like a like or a laugh and like move on. But it just shows the health of them.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Hobby. Yeah.
From what you posted, I didn't see like any super high tier stuff, but a lot of like medium sort of, just interesting stuff for people to look at, and seemed pretty successful. So that bodes well for sure, to save eBay listing fees, the whole hassle. I also like that you kind of knew how to price it. You're like, this is what I want done. And then somebody would
used your data sheet to kind of get a sheet. Like not everything was listed on there, but I had a good idea of what it was roughly selling for. So I went off that sales sheet and I tried to make them all as fair and accurate as possible for what was relevant. But to be honest, like a lot of those slabs were either duplicates or I opted to bow out of trying to complete a Reflections 2 foil master set, which is just unbelievably difficult.
Yeah.
I really thought I could tackle that for like the most part, but I am folding the towel on that. I wanted to zero in on some sets and, up to kind of channel my energy and go deeper into some select sets. So that's why I released some of those. But yes, I did get the collectible I was looking for. It was not a Star Wars card, but I'm very excited about that.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I hope to see more flash sales than that. I plan on having more as well. I think it's great for those who are submitting duplicates, and for those like JP who have 4 of the same slab. It's probably better for the hobby if they're in existence elsewhere, but that's just my opinion.
I know. I'll try to get them released into the wild. It's so hard to part with them, but I want to convey the message of, if you are interested, if you're that kind of person that you part with your stuff, our group, most perfect place to go ahead and do that. It's super safe. We've not had any troubles. The group is wonderful. And really, are we like 50% or people that have the inventory of the graded Star Wars stuff?
Probably more.
Are we the investors? Are we the ones that are buying most of it off of eBay? So, hey, let's cut out and just kind of see, we're both the investors and the warehouse, so to speak. So we carry the inventory.
And Luke, I want to say, I think, I don't know if congrats is in order, but you did find some more sheets you were missing, and now you're zeroing in on your final sheets needed, right?
Dude, it's a journey. Yeah, I mean, it's not graded stuff, but yeah, I'm very happy to say that I have a Reflections 1 light side and Reflections 1 dark side foils that will be getting framed today. The frames are arriving today, so I'm eagerly anticipating that.
That's great.
The hunt is down to 5, so it just goes Hoth, Dagobah, Coruscant, Theed, and Reflections 2. Those are the light side ones I have left. So I'll share the updated visuals when I.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm following this journey, dude, with curiosity, because I was like, I don't think I realized how difficult it was to find some of these sheets.
I honestly think, I mean, some of them are pretty difficult. I honestly think, like, again, a lot of them are probably just in storage. And if you give them the right incentive, so I might just post and say, like, almost like a bounty, like, someone put me in touch with somebody that has like a Hoth sheet, I'll give you $50, and I'm happy to pay that person for the time for their go to storage and find it. So getting creative here at the end of my paternity leave. I've got a month left. So
well, when we're all long gone, the section of the museum dedicated to your quest, there'll be a little plaque of Luke's journey to completing.
It brings me so much joy. It's so great. Like, just walking around here and looking at them. So
yeah, no, that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
So, let's shift gears to and kind of finish with some of the sales, right? So October, a banger month, right? September seemed to be dipping from August, but October, exceeded August, right? Moving in a very high direction. We exceeded sales over $18,000 in graded card slabs, as far as we know, right? We're assuming we got about 98, 99% of all sales, right? Hopefully, maybe more. So a good data set. Luke, what can you tell us about some of the numbers from October, top cards, what's trending?
Let me go ahead and share my screen. Give me 1 second to do that. As I hop on here, I just want to present that specific tab. So let's go here. And then go here, and then just let me make sure you guys can see the graded tracker, correct? Awesome. So this is October sales data, and you can see this specific tab at the bottom, or just Luke October sales. If you want to see sealed sales or Q3 data, I'm going to potentially do something for Matt's show on that. But then keep scrolling over. There's a bunch of stuff, right, that we have here. Let me go back here. And, if you want to see overall graded singles, what Kyle was saying earlier in terms of like how to price stuff. So usually what we do is we alphabetize it by, card name. And then you can see in the past history of like how many Forlomps have sold and what the price is. In order to run this specific data sheet that I'm going to explain, I just filter by date by sale and then take a look at, what happened in October. So really quickly, what the top sale was, and I posted this in the group, but I'm happy to do this on YouTube just to explain it as well. Top sale was a PSA 10 Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. For me, the ultimate card, my favorite card in the game. I did not buy this, but a buyer reached out to me and said, hey, I bought this through somebody that we negotiated on eBay, but I purchased it through off of eBay. So that was our by far and away top sale. Cam told me about the Leia Organa Premier PSA 10. What's a 1 of 1 at the moment? There's a population 1 on that. And so he took that one down. I'm not going to go through all of these, but Death Star 2, I think this was the one that surprised a lot of people. Just doing the top 3, the ones that are over 1,000. We had a fair amount of people in other groups say, wow, like you can just a PSA 10 Death Star will go for $1,351.
Well, that's the foil, right? So
foil,
that's very difficult to
right. So we had a fair amount of people explain, like, hey, foils are extremely difficult grades. Death Star 2 just in itself looks like a beautiful card. Like, there's all these reasons why that would have happened, but I think for many of us that have tracked this stuff, that was a pretty high sale. Someone really clearly wanted it, and we did reach out to the seller. The graded community did, and was like, hey, was this legit? Have you been paid for it? Seller's like, absolutely, 100% legit. I've been paid. I've shipped it. Like, so I think, as JP was saying, the growth of the group, the growth of like interest in this. Was
that an auction? Was that an auction or a?
It was an auction. Yeah, it was a live auction on eBay that was there. So the first 2 were not auctions, right? Those are private sales. The highest live auction was that number 3. So again, I'm not going to go through everything, but the actual total here, I'm highlighting right now, 18,086. And that's to best of my knowledge, I think this is the highest month that the graded community's ever had. I've only been doing this data for a month and a half, 2 months since Cam and Mark invited me on, but it seems pretty clear that this was higher than, because the growth, like the number, like, so look at the actual total number of sales here. We had 185 tracked. That is, I think, maybe 30 or 50 more than, and you can see Kyle's flash sale right there. There's seconds in the center. So like the actual overall number is just higher, and that corresponds with the highest there. And then these are some pretty legit, like highest high prices. And so, yeah, it seems pretty healthy to me in terms of the data. And again, if you want to go back and see any particular card, right after the welcome sheet, there's the graded single sheet that would have that data for you guys to look at. I'm going to stop here.
Good volume on here. I'm seeing a lot of PSA 7s, 8s, obviously a fair amount of 9s. It looks like that might be the bulk of the grades, but as you go sheet, there's still a good amount of 8s and 7s selling in there. So
I would say as well, just as a note, PSA continues to dominate the graded market for Star Wars CCG. I think there was probably 6 BGS that I was able to track that were sold through eBay. There was
a few
maybe
SGC.
A couple SGC. Yeah. I don't think we had an HGA this month. I think it was last month we had an HGA. But
I'm not selling those for the most part. Most of those I'm keeping.
I saw your post.
I have some duplicates.
What's your favorite company just to have to hold? I thought that was an interesting poll conversation as well.
I know. I was like, let me say this in a way that's not going to offend or start a fire, because that's not my goal.
Yeah.
I want it to be clear that I submit with multiple companies for different reasons, right? My bigger thing right now is I want to use the PSA for the registry system, because I want to register and compete in certain key categories. So I'm stacking cards that I'm sending out to grade, or they're already out to grade, for when PSA eventually updates its registry set, so I can compete in certain categories, right? So that's my target with that. After I've done that, if I have duplicates or other cards that maybe a set I'm not pursuing, like, I'm probably going to use HGA. The BGS ones are good too, but I don't know. I haven't thought about submitting to CGC yet, but it has me curious because Mark speaks highly of it, and some other people that have done it before speaks highly about it. But again, for me, the registry set is such a pull. If another company had a registry set and was competing in something, that might pull me over. Like, that might be all it would take. It's just fun. So I do it with parents.
This month we started tracking PGC, which there's still 0 entries, but I do have that as a save source, as another graded thing. Yeah. potentially not going to have anything on the market in a while, but that is one other one that came up in the group. Someone said, do we do PGC? And I was like, I guess I can add that.
There's some other companies too that would probably grade Star Wars.
Yeah.
Nobody's done it.
Yeah.
I would almost want a slab out of curiosity. So like eventually down the road, we can truly compare like, quality of slab.
That would be kind of a cool idea. Submit the same card to like, the same, like say it's like 5 executors. It's like one to each of the 5 grading companies and have it all like arrayed. Yeah. I like that idea.
Yeah, because I think part of it is like, can you get a hold of the company when you need to? How transparent is that entire process from start to finish? What is the end product? Is it of high quality or not? If people grade how thick they are, how the quality of the actual insert of what they're saying is grading. Does it feel like it was printed in a 1970s printer, or does this feel like state of the art, high quality? Grading and colorizing and stuff like that. So I do want to do that eventually.
Some of these grading services too, they're overwhelmed with, a lot of these. There's a million gaming cards out there, and who knows if they've got the official Star Wars CCG checklist, or are they just looking at it going, "Oh, it's Darth Vader," and so
labeling it whatever. Yeah.
Right, because I mean, look at how terrible BGS and PSA do occasionally on the cards, and man, they should have the resources to be the forerunners of the front runners of handling that high quality side of it. And it seems like sometimes what's the one that comes back? That's the Darth Maul in hood. Hoodie or something. Yeah.
They also have like Cloud City enhancements. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's just Cloud City enhanced. Like enhancements?
Enhanced Cloud City.
I was trying to look at that because I want to compete in a Jabba's Palace Cloud City Premier enhanced category. I'm like, enhancements? I was like, what the hell was that? And the anthologies and Jedi packs and promos, like they've listed the Imperial class Star Destroyer in like 5 different categories that they like invented.
Yeah.
I was like, this is really confusing. Hopefully, eventually they'll pay attention to it, but I'm not holding my breath at this point.
Yeah, me either.
They just, they haven't even been updating some of the other, even like baseball and sports and other stuff. Like they take forever on those. Like the last update was, 3 weeks ago. It's like, and before that, it was like a month and a half. It was like, what is going on? Is anybody looking at this? Is there like an account manager here, like dedicated to registry building? Because I'm happy to plug it in. Like, it probably wouldn't take that long, but I digress.
Yep.
Any final thoughts on October success, upcoming November in terms of Star Wars graded CCG? Cool.
I think we've hit on everything. I'm just, it's really on cruise control. People are pouring in, and talk about some of the sales. I see them in other groups where people are like, man, what are they doing over there? Printing money. And other people's like, no, that's what it's really going for. They're trying to convince their group members, in the other groups by saying, hey, Star Wars CCG graded it holds value. So we're just, showing proof and evidence. It's got a lot of value. So good job, Luke. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to keep tracking it. It's really interesting for sure.
Yeah, thanks for tracking that. That was certainly helpful from a sales standpoint. I had a point of reference, an anchor point, and then just adding more sales to it gives everybody else even more data, which helps them assess better values to everything. So, this time next year, it'll be really easy to look up, okay, my PSA 8 is worth roughly this much because so much data here. So
that's funny. There's sometimes, Kyle, I'll just say really quickly, there'll be new entrants to the spreadsheet. So yesterday, brand new, never been sold before, Sergeant Major Bursk from Special Edition sold for like $30 as PSA 9.
Oh, there were a few of those for sale.
Yeah, so I
saw those listed.
So I entered the new line on the spreadsheet. I'm like, this is now what that's worth, I guess. Like that's the only data point. Whereas for Darth Vader, we have something like 150 or something or more crazy amounts. So yeah, I'll be curious in a year, like, do we have almost every card? Like,
Well,
Okay.
you'll definitely be adding
Wow.
some Japanese cards
Yeah.
from me as
Great.
those come through, and I sell my duplicates because I'm not going to hoard the duplicates. I'd rather use it towards other cards. But yeah, you're right. There is some of those weird ones, like special edition Death Star 2. What other sets have not really posted that much in terms of filling? I mean, maybe some of the anthologies and stuff we haven't really seen as
Right.
much with
The
those.
anthologies, the Jedi packs, and all the other little specialty stuff. That's great.
Right. We'll see more of that. So that's great. Well, thanks for coming on, guys, and look forward to the group success for November.
All right. Talk then.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.